One of the frustrations we have with every mock exam is whether people can actually write their names or not. You'd think they could, couldn't you? Now let's have a look at what's going on here. We have, if you just write your name, remember, write it clearly so people. Now, Mickey Mouse. That's clear, isn't it? We can see that nice and clear. Mickey Mouse. That's interesting. We've got no E there and definitely an E there. Now, this is handwritten. Now we know that it's Mickey Mouse. It's fairly easy to see, isn't it? But let's get rid of this. And now we'll just look. That could be an N. It could be a sort of an I, an Yucky Mouse. A W, Wookie Mouse. This could be an H. Sort of. A lot of people do M's like that. A lot of people do H's like that. Same here. This could be M-I-U-S-E or even an F. If you're not familiar with the name, when you know it's Mickey Mouse, it's easy. But we have so many strange names and strange spellings. I mean, we're lucky enough to have names from all over the world these days, which is brilliant. And a lot of the British names, I mean, when I was a kid, there were like 3 Louises, 2 Karens, 2 or 3 Sarahs, 2 Janes. Our parents weren't very imaginative in terms of the breadth of names was quite narrow. The Victorians had a vast array from which they chose. And people are back to that. So, problems. Just do it in capitals. Let's see what the next one is. Oh, no, we don't want to save it. Don't save. Here we are. We've got, that was my last one. Hang on. Right, on to number 2. Is that Jim or Tim? Could be either, couldn't it? Could be either. Now, this person, firstly, they haven't used capitals. If you're in an appeal situation or any situation, if you're not using a capital for your names, it either looks amazingly affected or very sloppy or just plain ill-educated. All of reasons not to employ you or give anything any credence. So give yourself some capitals. Now, what's going on here? Jane Jones, I would go for. But it could be Jane J ones. That could be an F, couldn't it? It's not necessarily an S. It could be a U, N, E, F or S. When you know it's Jane Jones, it's quite easy to see. But if you really don't know, it could be any number of things. Now let's have a look at this one. If you've got loads of second names, I mean, if you're called like Jim Bob Jones, write that down. If, however, your parents were great Snow White fans and your name happens to be Jasper, Happy, Dopey, Grumpy, Sleepy, Bashful, Doc, Sneezy, White, no name thing is long enough for that. So just ditch. There we are. Ditch all the second names. What they want your name, but not that much. Next one. Mary Smith. It's a bit elaborate, isn't it? When people like Elizabeth I wrote their name, they used to put all these squirrels and things on them, and that was to fill up the space so that nobody could then put in a PS, by the way, I promise no more taxes for 10 years. So don't let it be too elaborate. Once again, this is getting a bit, is that we know Smith because I said Smith, but that could be double T. That could be an L. It's not, it could be just a multitude of sins, a funny F. It could certainly be a D, couldn't it? Smilled. Don't assume that people have got the knowledge to be able to guess what it is. So again, that's not terrible, is it? But it's not good enough. I'd give it to you, but you know. Let's have a look at the next one. Yes, once again, we need capitals. Now, so is this a first name, O Robin? Is it O Robin, as in that's the second name? Is it the surname, O Robin? Should there be an apostrophe there, or is that the initial? So whilst it's it's perfectly legible. It's just not clear what's going on. Make it clear. Because if people have to start spending ages trying to grub around, work out what your name is, they're irritated before they look at any of what you've written. Next one. Now this one isn't that nice. Poppy Williams. The problem we've got here is this is someone that spent hours and hours and hours just doing lots of little colours and lots of nice things. You haven't got time for that. Cute, but no thank you. What else have we got? Joe. No capital. Could be the first name, could be the last name, could be J-U really. Yeah, and that's quite typical of what children will write at the top. There are a lot of Joes around, and there's no clues as to whether that's even a boy or a girl. What else? Now, can you find it? There it is. Oscar has written his teeny tiny name incompletely somewhere else, which is rather shy and quite possibly endearing. Not easy to find though. You'll have somewhere that says name, write it there, or if there isn't somewhere that says names, you will be given clear instructions. Follow them. Right. Oh, too big to fill in the space. I assume this is Paula. P-A-U. Has Paula normally got double L? I don't know. Or it could be Paul La something or another, couldn't it? Paul Lane. Nonetheless, too big, doesn't. So have a good look at the space. Fit your name in that space. No further. Easier said than done. Willem. No capital. And I've decided, now I'm sure there are people called Willem out there, this isn't one of them. He's left the I out of his name. Once again, if you're expecting people to employ you or give you a place at the school, they do assume that you can spell your own name. I do like it when kids get their own name spelled wrong. As we have here, several different versions of the same name. Bertie with a couple of R's there. Bertie without the I-E. B-E. Now we know we've got the R there, so we're reading it as Bertie, but if you didn't know, it could be B-E-F-T-Y, or B-E, could be Beth. Beth, well, looks sort of Bethy. B-E-H-Y. Now you say, is that likely? But as I say, with so many names that are unfamiliar, it could be anything. And the final one. This is how I do it. If I'm writing a form, Sarah Beswick. It's not neat, it's not pretty, but it is functional, and that's what we want, functional. When I'm signing in children's books, in the little squares, I sign that. We have an S, J, something B, and then that was my maiden signature. These are, if I was doing a check, it would be a different one again. I won't show you that one. So just different ways of doing it. But if you're writing your name and signing your name, sign, it comes from signature, comes from the word sign. That is your sign. In the old days, if you were illiterate, you couldn't write, you had a cross. You signed your name with a cross. But you could do a happy smiley face, and that is your sign. Your signet ring would have your sign that you could stamp in the wax. So do please practice writing your name. It's not as easy as it might seem. And the chances are, if you've got to this point and watched it all the way through, you're probably not the ones with the problems. The ones with the problems won't even watch this. Sad but true. Thank you. Bye-bye.